Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Daily Bone Podcast, Friday, June 14th. We're here to discuss all things crypto market. That includes the majors like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, meme coins, and of course, NFTs. Today, we have a lot of meat on the bone. We're going to discuss some of the news on when ETH ETFs are getting final approval. According to Gary Gensler, it sounds like that's happening before the end of the summer. We're going to talk about the current wave of celebrity meme coin interest. And lastly, we're going to discuss the FUD, the fear, uncertainty, doubt that is present on Twitter right now surrounding Blast's valuation as its TGE, its token generation event, is less than 2 weeks away. So really juicy stuff. Signal, how you doing this morning? You are muted, Sig.
Doing all right, fellas. Doing all right. It's Friday. Let's get into it. No, I'm excited. Like TGE is in like Blast TGE is like pretty much like a week away. It feels like. So this weekend, gonna get my hands dirty. Gonna go farm, get mud under the nails, and just hammer it. Just hammer it for these last 10 days, and then pray that there's some kind of break after this. I am a bit Blast exhausted, I have to say, and I would like to go and touch grass a bit over summer. So I'm excited for the day. I'm excited to see what's to come. And that is how I'll be spending my weekend.
You went hard on Blast for multiple months.
I continue to go hard. It is no joke that we are at the wall of the Blast marathon. But I'm just like, let's go for it. And what I'm liking about this moment on Blast now is finally with this final distribution that we've just had, we're starting to see apps which are not good get punished and their gold taken away, and apps which are good, like for example Blaster, who got a knee in the face last time, be given more gold because they did something about the app. And this is what I want to see. There's been too much garbage on the chain that has had gold allocation that needs to go, and we've started to see that in this wave, which means we're starting to see more of a flourishing ecosystem that is growing and is actually having good apps on there rather than sort of the garbage that we had in wave 1, wave 2.
Well, it's good to hear. I'll be very interested to see what the rewards look like for you and for Clementa, and of course for Easy. It's going to be very interesting. Look, before we get into this show, we have some information as part of our content partnership. Easy, can you explain what people should know about a little blockchain named Polygon?
Oh, absolutely. I'm actually very excited for what they just rolled out here as well. They just rolled out their community grants. So incentivizing people to start to dive into Polygon, build things, launch things, roll things out. They've got 5 million Matic allocated towards funding the best projects across both Polygon and Ethereum. So they're opening up their SO1 applications June 11th, and they're ending those the end of August, I believe. So they should be open now. They've been open for about 3 days. You can go start to apply right now for these grants, start getting 1,000 Matic to 50,000 plus Matic. So all the allocations for this quote season, SO1, are up to 35 million Matic. So a ton of capital going into the ecosystem right now, providing an opportunity for people to actually build on Polygon. And every month, they're going to be using the community treasury board who's been appointed right now to review and select projects for these grants. So if you're building something cool, you have an awesome idea, need help with funding, Polygon's providing capital right now for you to go and take action on that, which I think is absolutely massive. And I think that that's opening up a ton of opportunity to incentivize builders to dive in and start doing some things directly on the Polygon blockchain, which I'm a huge fan of. I think it's a no-brainer, and incentivizing people to build on the blockchain through monetary incentives can take ideas to inception and kind of create this awesome flywheel that I think we're going to start to see some really cool things continue to be built over the summer, especially in somewhat of a quieter market. Then the other thing that's happening right now is the POS proposal. So they're connecting that to their aggregation layer. The POS proposal is arguably the most used blockchain in the world. It's got 400 million unique addresses, thousands of dApps already that are live right now, and it's even processed more transactions than everything on all ETH L2s combined. So there's zkSync, proof of stake ecosystem, which is what's going on right now. Ton of kind of difficult words to understand, but the main thing is it obscures the user layer, letting users not even have to know that they're using the blockchain. So it's going to make it significantly easier, more seamless, better experience for users. And all of those right now getting combined into the aggregation layer, which will allow multiple blockchains, similar to AVAX subnets, different things happening there that I think is going to be an absolute home run. So we got the POS proposals going on right now to connect to the ag layer, which opens up users to get access to 400 million plus unique addresses. And then on top of that, the Polygon proposals for building on the blockchain.
Hell yeah. And just to recap, 5 million Matic allocated towards funding the best products across the Polygon and Ethereum landscapes. Those applications open June 11th. They close August 31st. So they're open right now. Grant ranges between 5,000 and 50,000 plus Matic. Very, very cool stuff. Obviously, Easy also covered the POS proposals. Sig, why don't we dive into the weather report straight to it, and then we will get cooking on this show.
Right at you, sir. It's Friday. It's June 14th. You got that ETH market volume coming out 14.2 million. Solana market volume at 2 million. And Ordinals market volume is at 1.9. If you look at what's going on in the market leaders on Ethereum, Pirate Nation led the way with its NFT. They're up 25% to 0.93 ETH. But its Pirate token has done a 2x since its launch yesterday, which is good to see on a token side. Miladies and Remelios also got 10% gains on the day. Over on the Blast side of things, that Tin Fund, it's back. It's up to 0.12 ETH floor. And finally, over on the Solana side, Slap City is down to 0.67 Sol. On the crypto roundup, the majors are pretty much down again because of a big outflow on the Bitcoin ETF side. 220 million went out the window. Bitcoin is down to 67,100. Ethereum is even at 3,500. And Solana is down to 148. On the meme coin side, the standout tokens from today include Ton Chain meme coins. That's $not. That is up 17%. Bohm is up 15%. And Pew over on Blast is up 22% to a 2.2 million market cap after winning another Blast jackpot. That's their third time. Over the past 24 hours, firstly, reports came out that Gary Gensler sees the ETH ETF S1 form to approve sometime over the course of summer. We don't know when that is, but the Bloomberg ETF analysts are back out and they think it could be expedited to around July the 4th. Secondly, the 8-coin DAO proposed banana bill on the DAO forums. This proposal would allocate 100 million APE to be used to fund 8-chain development and provide incentives for 8-chain users. Are there any more users out there? Ape is even on the day at 680 million market cap. And then finally, on the celebrity meme coin front, rapper Lil Pump, he tattooed Solana right on his forehead here. The Little Pump token that he released 3 weeks ago is up 250% on the day and ran to a 10 million high market cap yesterday before pulling back to 6 million. That is all for the weather report. It's back to you folks in the studio.
Fantastic weather report as usual, Signal. And ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching video, the video stream of this show, either on YouTube or on X platform, please forgive me. I am producing it because Clemente is traveling right now. His flight got delayed all the way till 6 in the morning. So a little bit of an unfortunate circumstance led to the producer of this show not being available. So please bear with me. Some updates from the Daily Bone newsletter, which is emailed to anyone that subscribes at bodagos.com. First story, this is a fun one. Paradigm, you've heard this name before, raises $850 million for an early stage crypto investment fund. What a position crypto is in now compared to 15 months ago. So cool to see more venture capital interest in early stage crypto to the tune of $850 million in this situation with Paradigm. Next story, zkSync airdrop claim will still occur on Monday despite backlash on eligibility and allocation rules. Was there ever not going to be backlash? Come on now. Next story is Fantasy announces the next set of tournaments to go live on Monday with $1 million gold in rewards. Next story, Curve founder Michael Egorov gets liquidated out of a $140 million position in CRV. Easy, you're shaking your head.
Yeah, not the first time this has happened. So the Curve founder had some issues last time as well. And that's kind of what led to a cascading effect that we saw across the market. So for me, I'm like, okay, this is not your first rodeo. Why do you keep doing this to yourself? And it's your own platform. Like, shouldn't you have a better grasp on this instead of just continuing to get liquidated on it? What's interesting to me is he didn't even pay back the full balance either. He got liquidated for about 10 million, paid back 9.3 and said paying back the rest of it shortly, which I don't like that. Like, pay the whole thing back. Like, why do you get like, if you hit me up and I got liquidated and I was like, yeah, I'll give you the other 6% I owe down the line. I got you, chief. That doesn't fly. Like, I'm smoked.
Doesn't fly. Yeah, I mean, very interesting stuff. A little bit of privilege there. Next story, platform UWU Lend has been exploited again, losing $3.5 million just as it was reimbursing victims from its $19 million hack on Monday. Founder Michael patron or patrine places a $5 million bounty on the hacker. He's trying to get this guy. He's putting $5 million on his head. Those are our stories. One quick shout out to our other partner for the show today. That is Galaxis. So Galaxis is the no-code community creation tool empowering creators to engage with and provide value to their communities. Their community's launchpad went live last month and is running a year-long grant with $1 million allocated to creators and community members. We'll tweet out the community page and all of the links. Their introductory OG promotion is also still live with quests to earn free Galaxis tokens. Minting community membership cards and completing 10 daily check-ins is what will make you eligible to receive a share of 5 million Galaxis tokens. The promotion runs until June 20th. So make sure that you mint and start your check-ins ASAP. We'll get all those links tweeted out. Very easy to do. Very dope company. You can check out the people that founded it. Very, very strong backgrounds there from the founding team. So big shout out to Galaxis, the other partner for today's show. So getting into the macro, Gensler sees the ETH ETF approval sometime this summer. Bloomberg ETF analyst Eric B predicted July 4th for approval. ETH is slightly underperforming Bitcoin over the last 24 hours. Easy, let's talk about this. So, I mean, look, I just listened to a podcast with Anthony Pompliano and Will Clemente. Pomp talked about how, look, his entry into crypto is he started mining Ethereum in 2016. This is when Ethereum was a proof of work blockchain. It's now a proof of stake blockchain years later, right? A lot of people got into crypto from being early in Ethereum, buying it for between $1 and $80, and obviously watching it go as high as nearly $5,000 last cycle, watching it pull back quite a bit during the last bear market, and then watching it lag significantly compared to Bitcoin and Solana. Solana seems to be attracting retail. It seems to be attracting, quote, celebrities that are now the early celebrities of this cycle getting in, starting with the Iggy Azaleas and the Caitlyn Jenners of the world, now bleeding to the Rich the Kids, Lil Pump, Dylan Dennis, Sexy Red, a bunch of really questionable celebrities, like pseudo celebrities, I guess you would say, getting interested in Solana. It's kind of hard to make a case for Ethereum right now when you look at Bitcoin and you look at Solana, but this Ethereum ETF is without question, in my opinion, the strongest narrative associated with it. And yet now that it's approved and it's not even trading yet, Ethereum is only showing so much strength. Solana's near all-time, well, I guess not near all-time highs, but near all-time high market cap. Bitcoin's hanging out at its all-time high. Ethereum can't seem to break 4,000. What do you think? What's going on here?
I'm not terribly surprised, to be honest. Like, the ETH ETF approval is one thing, but they're not tradable. So, like, you don't have inflows.
It will be soon, though. You'd think that people would want to front run it.
Yeah, but you still need an approval on the S1. So it's like that could take a year. Like, that's the thing is like, and on top of that, macro conditions still aren't great. Like, that's the thing is January of this year, they were pricing in 3 rate cuts. 2 months ago, they said no rate cuts. This month, now they're saying 1 rate cut. So, like, that's what I look at here is there's still this speculation from the macro economy where, like, yes, the S&P and the NASDAQ continue to go all-time high, but I think that's a larger indication of, like, the election year cycle that's happening more so than anything else. I think right now a lot of people are looking at the macro standpoint where, like, people don't have money. Like, that's the thing is, like, we continue to say, like, retail adoption and all those buzzwords around it, but, like, that does create some indication of buy pressure. And right now, we don't have that buy pressure. Like, that's the thing is, like, I'm looking at it, and the more I look at, like, daily active users and those numbers, we're not getting these massive surges. Like, Solana is technically from DEX volumes, sure, but, like, that number could be inflated from multiple wallets and other things. Like, you know what I mean? So that's where I'm like, that doesn't feel as aggressive. Once we start to see inflows into things like Bitcoin, ETH, Coinbase numbers rising, Kraken numbers rising, that's where I'm more interested. Like, we need rates to start to drop. That's the main thing for me before there's more risk added on the table.
Fair. I don't know. I just feel like I'm like, are the macro conditions that bad? Like, I don't know. We know that the rates aren't going up.
I mean, just take a look at the grocery store, man. Like, that's a big indication for me.
It's been that way. It's been that way.
But it's still trending up. Like, that's the harder situation for me is, like, these numbers are still trending up. Consumers are spending less on non-necessary goods, which is an issue. You need consumers to be spending more. You need that CPI data to be more favorable to risk on assets. that's where right now I'm like, that I think a big indication of it is like altcoins are not running at all. Like literally not at all. They're either flat or down on since the start of the year. Like you look at an AVAX, a Near, a Matic, those things, they're down. The majors are all up, sure, but that's because you're seeing indications of TradFi entering the space. They buy majors, they don't buy alts. You don't have any sort of adoption until you get further down the risk curve, which is alts. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, would it surprise me if this summer we got sideways chop, if not a 20-30% drawdown?
Well, it
Not
is
at all.
sideways summer.
Yeah, that's the thing. Sideways summer, baby. We're looking sideways, though. I think we see 58K on Bitcoin, so maybe 60K.
I'm ready for it. Signal, what do you think? Are you paying attention
I
to
don't
this?
know.
Or?
Easy sounding particularly bearish for a Friday. I don't know about you, but I'm like, I don't know what, like Easy. I don't know what's going on with your weather over there in like sunny Miami. But like you sound particularly bearish. I think even if we just chop sideways for a bit over the summer, I would expect that that's very much summer action normally, that you don't really see a lot happening over July, August. I'm more interested in what happens in September. I also think like ETH, after listening to DC Investor when he was on the show, I think these ETH ETF inflows, when they do come in, I think because of the action we've seen to date, that ETH hasn't been very interesting. People are still underestimating how much those inflows can be. I also think you're only looking at US data, and potentially you're not also considering like other parts of the world that could invest into these ETH ETFs through the US markets. So I just think like there's a lot of moving parts that don't necessarily point to such a bearish outtake, but I do think that we're more likely to just go sideways for the rest of summer rather than seeing such an aggressive drop down to sort of like 50K as you're talking about on Bitcoin.
Yeah, I mean, look, I agree with sideways summer. I think a lot of that's pretty consensus at this point. One thing I want to point out is that Larry Fink of BlackRock, who kind of kicked this whole early bull market off with the Bitcoin ETF and now the Ethereum ETF, he started banging the Ethereum drum as soon as the Bitcoin ETFs were trading live. It was literally his first television appearance after the ETFs were trading, where he started talking about the TradFi tokenization of RWAs, or real world assets, and basically a position of tokenize everything. And he was approaching that with Ethereum. And I think when you look at Ethereum versus Solana, it makes more sense to do something like that at the kind of institutional level with Ethereum. I mean, Easy, what's your position on that? Like, I think that Solana as a retail chain, as a fund chain, as a chain for consumers makes so much sense. That's why I have a big Solana position. But I think if you're going to look at it from an institutional perspective, Ethereum's been out for nearly 10 years. Ethereum is, I suppose, technically more decentralized than Solana, I think, on like it is, right? And I think Ethereum is technically more robust than Solana. There's issues with Ethereum. However, if you're going to, quote, tokenize everything, aren't you going to do that with Ethereum before you do it with Solana?
Yeah, I mean, from the security standpoint, it makes the most sense. And like with tokenized assets, they're not as liquid, so they don't need to be hyper volatile or trade a ton. You know what I mean? Like that's what I kind of look at here is like the ETH side of things. You want that almost slower mover, more secure, quote, like Veblen goods, I guess, as they would call them. Like that's RWAs, real world assets. You can buy, even right now, you can buy watches on Blast, which I think is a decent alternative. You can buy cards, collectibles, all those other fun things, which like for Sol, like it moves too quickly almost. So I think a lot of people kind of almost overlook it. And I don't think that's a bad thing. And I think it happens so quickly. The fun chain is where like I could see gaming. I could see a ton of other things. I mean, gambling is probably the best way to just put kind of what's happening with like meme coins. But that's also where like a lot of people look is how to find the 100x, the 1000x. And that's where I think they'll look for Solana, which inherently drives in market volume.
Absolutely. And so I guess crypto trader Zoran Cole was on Rect Radio yesterday. He was calling for 44K Bitcoin and $80 Solana. He was saying Bitcoin not being able to break out of the 72K levels is bearish. And previously there were 40% plus pullbacks after all-time highs. He also thinks that we won't see new highs in 2024. What do you think of that, Easy?
I don't agree with that. I think we may see new all-time highs. Not a ton, but I think we do continue to trend up near the end of the year. I think December is going to be lucrative. I think through the end of the election will be lucrative. Yeah, 44K, $80 Solana. That's what a $60 drop from here. It's like a 60% retrace. That's a lot.
That's a lot.
Like
That's
that's
a lot for like no like it feels like it needs a really strong catalyst event to get to those numbers. I'm not talking like an FTX, but like something, you know, in that direction to push it down there. Maybe he has bad weather as well for a Friday wherever he is, and that's why he's feeling bearish. But like that sounds $80 Solana, sub 100. I can see it going down to like 112, 115, but 80. I don't know.
It's a lot with
I know. Sorry, just to finish this point, it just feels like everyone is very impatient for Bitcoin and Ethereum and everything to break all-time new highs. As soon as it doesn't do that and it moves or does this sideways chop or even a little bit lower, everybody calls for like $80, Solana. And I just feel like there needs to be a lot more patience when it comes to the majors, especially Bitcoin, for it to just do what we all know it will inevitably do, even if that doesn't play out in the next in the next 6 months.
Yep. And it's also a lot. It's a big sell-off when you have a Bitcoin ETF. Come on. Like that's the thing none of these people are talking about, is that this never happened. Previous cycles didn't have an ETF.
It's TradFi capital that like a lot of people still underestimate, which is why I think the majors are holding up so well. Like we say, like ETH hasn't gone to 4K. ETH also hasn't dropped under 3K. Like that's the counter argument to it. And Bitcoin's held well over 56K. So like those numbers are where I'm more interested, because as you look at it, it's like if that TradFi capital wasn't in here, I think they'd be more similar to like some of these alts that are basically break even on the year.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
also as well, just to point out, if Bitcoin is really going to say 150K, as everybody is saying, whether you're buying at 55, 60, or 65, is there really that much of a difference if the end target everyone has consensus over is around 150K? So this is why when Bitcoin chops in these in this band, and even if it was going down to 55, I just wouldn't be panicking at all, because we know what the upside is. So I think a lot of it is sort of over dramatized a bit on the timeline, when we all know Bitcoin is eventually going to hit 150.
1,000%. Michael Saylor would tell you that you're buying Bitcoin right now at 0.066 million. And I agree with
think Bitcoin goes to $1 million. Like I genuinely do. I don't know how long, 20 years. But I think
20
Bitcoin
years. 20 years. That's hilarious. I'd say no more than 12. But real quick, I mean, do you really
12?
care about no more than 12? 0.066 versus 0.076. Like, do you really care? Like, if you're buying it there, like somebody tweeted something like, I feel bad for everybody that was buying at 72K. And I was like, I was buying at 72K, and he was just like, well, I hope it's a DCA and not a trade. I was like, it's never a trade. That you can't trade Bitcoin. It's not a thing. Literally, if you trade Bitcoin in 10 years, you're going to look at yourself in the mirror and be like, what was I doing? What the hell was I doing? Real quick, me and Nick bumped into this guy at the airport on the way back from Consensus. I don't think I ever brought this up on the show. He was a TradFi trader for 10 years, and he was talking about his approach, and he was like, yeah, but that whole 10-year period, if we had just been accumulating the S&P 500, we would have done a whole lot better. And I was like, yep. And I was like, and do you know what you'd be a whole lot better doing right now? And he was like, yeah. He's like, if literally we're just going to look back and be like, if you just bought Bitcoin the whole time, you would have done a whole lot better. Obviously, there's people that hit big on trades. We've all done really well, easy in particular with Solana, but myself included. Average cost of Solana for me is like $35 with, over 1,000 Solana. It's obviously a pretty good situation to be in. And I believe that it will continue to be very, very good. But yeah, anyway, look, there's a lot to think about with that. We'll see where we go. Sideways summer for the rest of the summer. Can't wait to see the flows into the Ethereum ETF. You have to keep in mind that a lot of people that have a traditional investing approach are probably just going to do an allocation. If they don't do 100% Bitcoin ETF for their crypto exposure, a 70-30, 70% Bitcoin, 30% Ethereum. These are the two top crypto assets. That they've both been out. Bitcoin for over 10 years, Ethereum for almost 10 years. 70-30 is totally reasonable. 80-20. So Ethereum's going to get flows. I cannot wait to see what happens to the price of Ethereum once that's a reality. Moving on from the macro stuff, celebrity meme coins. I mean, look, we can't spend too much time on this because I think I'll probably just end up drooling by the end of it. But Lil Pump launched a coin during the initial celebrity craze last month. He fake tattooed Solana on his forehead. His Lil Pump token ran a $10 million market cap yesterday. Waka Flocka Flame is teasing a coin. He was around during the bear market. Yeah, I talked to his manager during that period. Female rapper Sexy Red dropped a coin yesterday, which probably went to zero. I like the way Ray wrote that in this. Dylan Dennis decided to randomly start beef with Choose Rich Nick, prompting us to make a video real quick, which a lot of people thought were pretty funny. So thank you to everybody that enjoyed that video. And is teasing a coin. Real quick, easy. How much is Lil Pump making on that coin when it runs to 10 million? What's the celebrity meme coin strategy? Do they buy
they
it
have
themselves?
to sell it. That's the thing. They'd have to either sell it or, yeah, it's tough to say. It's kind of they either have to hold supply and dump it, or they don't make a lot unless they've sniped the launch, which some did. That was a speculation of the Sexy Red ticker last night, was that thing got up to 3 mil and somebody sold 160K in one single click. So yeah.
So are these coins pump.fun?
Every single one.
Okay, so there's no technical, you just go, you click a button and you make the coin.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. There's no developer functionality. There's nothing. Okay.
And then they get the dev, which is Lil Pump, for pressing the button.
So they buy the first, you have to buy the first transaction. That's how you launch the ticker.
Yeah.
I think. I got to figure that part out, because I've always been nervous to go in and click all the buttons myself. But from what you can see, the dev is always the first transaction. So they can decide, I think, how much they want to buy. So I think if the dev's smart, they buy a bunch. But that's also bad for a pump fund ticker if the dev holds a big supply. So many times what you see is Solana has a bundled transaction, which does take some developer resources, which is why these celebrities are partnering with some level of developer to do a little bit more, where they're okay, well, I want to make sure I make X amount of money, So they'll split it across multiple wallets, and then that's where they end up selling it and either killing the chart, making some money, doing something.
Okay. And go ahead,
sorry, Peter. I was going to say, on the celebrity stuff, it does make me more bullish on Iggy. It really does. The fact that within the celebrity vertical, it does make me more bullish on what she's doing with Mother than everybody else that's coming in. And it just feels within these verticals and these sort of categories that we'll see of meme coins, there's always going to be one clear winner. Whether that winner, goes on for that coin to reach 1 billion, I don't know, but it just feels there's certain, she's trying much, much harder than her peers and integrating it into I think it was the phone company she was talking about, and she was talking about it at at the New York Stock Exchange as well. But at least she's doing more than just rugging the coin after 24 hours. And if that's the benchmark within the celebrity category, you can expect Mother to do pretty well compared to its peers. So far, we haven't had any other celebrity do anything other than rug or launch multiple coins and multiple chains and just try and extract as much money as possible.
Absolutely. And I mean, just the name of the ticker Mother with Iggy Azalea, it's kind of interesting. It's weird, but appropriate for crypto. The other thing is that you have to keep in mind that celebrities, a lot of these people are broke or trending towards broke, actually. You got to understand that making money in the music industry in the United States is insanely difficult. And Iggy Azalea has not had a hit in 10 years almost, probably. She's only ever had 1 or 2 big songs. They were really big when they came out, so that and she did tour, so money was made for sure. But you look at Lil Pump, or Waka Flocka, he's apparently a savvy business person, but still, compared to people that have made it big in crypto, people that have started crypto funds, people that are, crypto entrepreneurs, people that were early to Bitcoin, early to Ethereum, the crypto people have way more money than the celebrities, including really big celebrities, by the way. Having $200 million or $300 million net worth in crypto is actually not that uncommon. And there's people that we have associated with on this show over the past, few years that are trending towards that right now, So it's celebrities would benefit from going hard on crypto to advance their net worth. Easy on the trading side for celebrity meme coins. What's your position? Do you participate in these? You made money on Hulk Hogan.
I made money on a fake Dylan Dennis one. I made money on that big sexy ticker yesterday before it rugged. It's like, just get in and then get out. Like, that's the thing. Like, get in and get out. Like, don't bag hold it. Yeah, I don't know. The other tough part is, like, if they are legit, they fly. Like, that's the thing. The little pump one going to 8 mil was crazy. I missed, there was another one the other day that I missed. I ended up going to like 4 mil. But like, some of these tools right now you can kind of just see where volume circles and like how quickly it elevates to pump fun and like how quickly it graduates, all those other things. So like, there's opportunity for sure, but it's also like, it's musical chairs at the end of the day, because I don't think any of them are going to actually go to like even mother levels. You know what I mean? And I saw someone ask, "Do I ever moonbag anything?" Yeah, I left a small moonbag in that sexy red ticker last night and it went to 0. So that's also why I don't do that. Like, I think I put in 11, 12 sold, took out 28, had 18 still at the peak that I just kind of left. And then I think I sold it last night for like 0.18. So it literally went down 99%. So like, yeah, dude, screw the moonbag. Gonna keep the thesis simple.
I don't like moonbags.
I'm good,
No,
dude.
do you know
I don't care.
Yeah. To do the trade and get out. And the reason why I don't like moon bags is because when you have the habit of having a moon bag, you have multiple moon bags, and all of a sudden it's not a moon bag anymore because you've got them scattered across
It's an
how many
allocation.
chains. It's actually an allocation, and how many of these moon bags actually turn out to do what you want them to do. So I prefer just to exit the position and then allocate that money to another coin, which you're like, okay, I think this is going to run. I think moon bags in the previous cycle did really well, but now it's really dilutive, especially in the celebrity vertical where you know that the benchmark is basically 99% of these people rug.
And also look at it from a perspective of, if you have a moonbag, you're going to continue to look at the chart and try to figure out what could have been. That's the one thing I continue to tell people, is to stop doing the math on what you sold at and what it would be worth now, because all you're doing is hurting your brain. You get emotional. The next trade, you're going to round trip and bag hold. Just get out, close the chart, and find the next trade. Like, it's that simple. And so many people would rather like sit there and dwell on it. And I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Literally, what are you doing? You're wasting your time, energy, effort, when you could take that time and find another trade. There's meme coins every single day that are going from 25, 30, 40 mil or 40K market cap to 300K. And like, I know these are small market caps. These are micro caps, literally, but that's still a 10X. And that's the thing, is like, if you can continue to if you make 5 SOL a day at current prices, you're making $700 a day, right? $700 a day times every day of the month, which isn't realistic. That's 21 grand a month. Like, that's serious capital. You know what I mean? Like, you're making $230,000 a year. Yeah. And like, just stack the gains, compound, just continue to compound, take some off the table, put it in the bank account and hang out, man. Like,
straight up. I mean, you can literally casino style gamble every single day, not end up making money in the long run in crypto, instead of just buying Bitcoin or another major and holding it and never selling it. And you can totally not get rich, even though you're in the space that allows you to get rich. I totally get that 100%. Anyway, look, we got Kicks on stage. Kicks, you should come on the video. You should come on video, buddy. What are you doing?
Just pulled up to my house. I'm going to be upstairs in literally 45 seconds. Clock me.
You got a Zin in there?
Computer on a minute and a half.
You got a Zin packed right now? We got coffee. I know we got coffee.
Oh, dude, I've been up since 6 a.m. A bunch of cold brew in me. I'm flying, baby, like an eagle.
I love to hear that. I remember during the NFT bull run, the first NFT bull run, when Kicks was just so real quick. This is a little moment to recount some stuff. So Kicks was one of the first people that I knew that was willing to deploy outrageous amounts of money, gamble in the NFT space. But this was when you could only buy like 7 different things. So your percentage likelihood of hitting a moon, like a moonshot, was so high because there's only like 7 things you could buy. And everyone else was like, I'm buying digital pictures. I don't know about this. And Kicks was like, yeah, fuck it. I'll throw 25 grand at that. Like, so nobody was doing this at this time, right? No one was doing it. So Kicks would do that. And he's just printing money. He made like $250,000 on one NFT trade once. And I was like, what? Like, what the hell is happening? He said he hadn't like left his house in like 2 or 3 days and hadn't like showered. And he emerged from his apartment or his home in like a suburban neighborhood and saw his neighbor, and he just looked terrible. He hadn't showered, like this whole thing. And he was like, hey, like, how you doing? And the neighbor just like kind of like looked at him, and Kix was like, yeah, guy probably thinks I'm a freak, but whatever. It's pretty funny stuff. Anyway, while we're waiting for Kix, big shout out, another shout out to our partner on today's show, Galaxis. Galaxis, of course, the no code community creation tool, empowering creators to engage with and provide value to their communities. No code, ladies and gentlemen. The community's launchpad went live last month, and it's running a year-long grant with $1 million allocated to creators and community members. So we'll share the community page. We'll share the introductory OG promotion that is also still live with quests to earn free Galaxis tokens. Minting community membership cards and completing 10 daily check-ins will make you eligible to receive a share of 5 million Galaxis tokens. The promotion runs until June 20th. You have 6 days. So be sure to mint and start your check-ins ASAP. Big shout out to Galaxis. Check out the Galaxis team's background, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. Very, very legit team. So look, moving on from this, and Kix will be joining us in a second. Roaring Kitty, Deep fucking Value posted an update. Here we go. We got, oh shit. We got kicked. Kicks on video, ready to cook. Deep fucking Value posted an update on his GME position and now holds 9 million shares of GameStop, worth $262 million. You know what hit me on this? He's worth more than Fred Krueger. I gotta think. Maybe. I don't know. Fred Krueger told me that he has way more than 100 Bitcoins. So I was like, all right, Fred, I don't know. I got to think he's worth more than my guy, Mike Alfred. I don't know, 262 million. I know Mike Alfred's posting Wagyu tomahawks, filet mignon, the finest wine. He was posting about the mineral water he was drinking the other day. So I don't know, but it looks like he sold 2/3 of his call options to exercise, and the other 1/3, which added an extra 4 million shares to his spot long position. GME stock hovering around $30, I believe. Is there an earnings call, or is there a shareholder meeting or something today?
No, they pre-announced their earnings last week, I want to say.
Okay.
But they may have the earnings report this week. That could be.
Are you on the wrong mic, Kicks? Maybe, or something?
Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, maybe fix that. The GME meme coin fell 15% to a 1-week low. When Sig wasn't on the show a couple days ago, I admitted that I was wrong about my GME thesis, because the GME meme coin outperformed GameStop. Also worth noting, I don't know if you heard this from me, Signal, the Reddit meme coin outperformed the Reddit stock post-IPO as well. So there's actually a pattern where the meme coin outperforms the equity, probably because it's, even though you don't get anything from the meme coin, it's just better. It's a better user experience. A lot of people don't end up paying taxes. I'm not condoning that, but a lot of people approach meme coins that way. They're also tradable 24/7, and also they're available to the international audience in a significant way, because somebody living in like Romania might not have a really easy way. They haven't jumped through the hoops to be able to trade US equities. So it's just easier for them to fire up their Solana wallet and rip a Solana meme coin. Sig, was there something you want to add there?
No, I'm so happy you finally understood my point on this, because it was nothing to do with GME. It was just to do with the fact that when there is a narrative that is really, really strong happening in the media, and it could be anything from sport to finance to celebrity to, buccal fat removal on Tom Brady, if it gets big enough, like all of these stories are going to manifest in tickers, and those tickers will have their own story. And I think Roaring Kitty has just been, he's caught the zeitgeist of the moment in these last, let's call them 4 weeks, because of what he previously achieved. That GMA ticket just had to have momentum either up or down. So I'm really glad you came round on this. And yeah, that's the only time I'm ever going to do a knockout on PO.
I provided
So
liquidity
I'm
on
happy.
GME. I thought I had the big brain play because of whatever this catalyst was. I'm down $900 because of impermanent loss.
Whatever.
My entire position is GME. I have 280,000 GME tokens. My fees went from up $240 to only $181 because of GME price going down. But we're holding. If Roaring Kitty's holding, I'm holding. So we're getting back.
So easy. When I went for your liquidity pool 101 for beginners, I think one of the things you said was try to pick a token which is like a little bit less volatile. Why did
Yes.
you do an LP then on GME?
Because I was waiting for the catalyst for Roaring Kitty to post about it. Just like it was more of a catalyst play than anything else, and like that's why I knew the risk was there, and the fees were really high. It's still printing about $20,000 in fees a day, so I'm getting what's 150 out of or $200 out of 20,000. I don't know. It's decent, and that compounds. So like my thesis, and that's why I'm not withdrawing this position, because my thesis is if he comes out and does anything around GME, this ticker will then see one last pump, which should theoretically get me completely out of the GME side and entirely into a Sol side, which I'm interested in, because the way an LP works is I basically DCA'd down the whole way down on this sell-off. So if this then rallies 10% the other way, my position should be worth $7,000 on the way out plus fees. So it's like, for me, I knew what I was getting into with the inherent risk. My major concern is if GME continues to trend lower, if he fully exits the position, we're going to see this nuke. And since now I have pretty large exposure to GME, there's a bigger risk there. Like for that LP video, you might have seen, like I talked about Bonk. I talked about you can LP double stables, USDC, USDT, where like there's only a depegging risk and still get 3% APY. You know what I mean? Like those things are more interesting from an LP standpoint. This was significantly more degenerate, and I've been posting live updates on the timeline. I'm down bad, dude. I'm down bad.
Well, that's tough. I mean, it's kind of crazy that Roaring Kitty's he's executed it, right? Like the guy's a maverick stock trader. If you aren't familiar, he graduated college right when the 2009 financial crash happened, which was, besides the COVID crash, which also brought in a lot of new market participants, by the way, the 2009 market crash, which a decade before was the previous significant market crash. A lot of people from that graduating class, that was right when I was going to college. So I was entering college when he graduated. A lot of people struggled to find jobs in the United States at that time because the job market was completely cooked because of the market. He got into stock trading like many of his peers did. However, he stuck with it. So he's like almost 20 years into trading now. Obviously, he's an animal, and this GME thing is kind of like the climax of everything that he's been doing. I guess he's just holding the stock now to the tune of $250 million, right? I mean, that's the move. It's kind of wild. To him, it's all the same. I feel like, 3 years ago, he made 20 million bucks. If you don't have like a lavish lifestyle and you just love the game and you're good at the game and you turn 20 million now into $250 million and you're only like 38 years old, he's just going to keep it going. He's going to be a billionaire in the next 10 years, right? And he's clearly insanely comfortable with risk. It's pretty wild stuff. Yeah, we can move on from GME. Kix, what are you doing in the market right now? Are you in parallel? What are you into right now? Roan, what do you got?
I've on the crypto side. I haven't really made many moves at all, other than like selling in May. I trimmed some positions, so I got a decent amount of cash. I tried some meme coins on Solana and just absolutely got shredded. I think it's just like you either got to buy one of the big ones or you gotta do this pump.fun, buy it and then flip it in 8 hours a day. If you're buying like the mid-range shit that's been around for a couple of months, I think you're just so likely to catch a bag that's fading. But yeah, I haven't really seen anything in the market that's like too exciting. Yesterday I did buy some degen call options on AMC.
Wow.
Yeah.
What expired?
On July 28th.
Okay, so not too far, but not too short. Like
that's
a
some
monthly
degen shit.
Yeah, no, it's an absolutely terrible company. I'm pretty sure they're gonna go bankrupt soon. They actually have like negative equity value, which is impressive.
Bullish.
Yeah. But the chart looks like kind of interesting, man. You know me, I'm just a MACD guy at heart. So if I see a MACD setup, I'm like, maybe I take a little stab here. I mean, hey, I lost $5,000 on meme coins. Why not lose $1,500 on these call options while I'm at it? But yeah, look at this, dude. Just down only right here. We got Roaring Kitty, degen bullshit, right? Kadoosh, right? Just give me, what's this right here? $24. Yeah. 5x. Turn my 1K into 40K. So let's
Not
see what
bad.
happens.
There
Yeah.
you go. I love it, Kicks. Real quick, Kicks. Are you running the audio in your headphones or is it coming out of the computer? Just asking. That was great analysis. I'm just asking.
Yeah, I can hear through my headphones. Does
Okay.
this sound louder?
Yeah, there's something going on.
Does this sound quieter? Oh, you know what was happening? I was having this audio issue the other day.
Are you sure it's coming through your headphones? Are you sure?
How about now? Is it better?
No, it's
No, it's
exactly
still an
the same.
echo.
It's
Oh,
okay.
the echo's probably because of the cell phone. Let me take it outside.
Ah, that's why. That's why. Okay, we got it. All right. Anyway, sorry.
3 years into the doing podcast, he still keeps his phone next to his computer.
All right. Well, anyway, we're 2 weeks away from the Blast TGE. That's the token generation event on June 26th. And Twitter has seen a number of bearish takes this week on Blast and its expected valuation. Stats, also known as Blast Stats, has been reporting different numbers, corresponding to the valuation. Yesterday, DFarmer and Cyrus, two very notable crypto / really more NFT whales, had an interesting conversation back and forth on Twitter surrounding the value of Blast Gold and the market cap of the overall chain, with DFarmer estimating $3 gold and calling Blast, oh, wow, one of a dozen shitty L2s that only us JPEG collectors use, with no killer apps, no culture, and no moat except Ponzonomics, with 30 to 40 unique players at most, providing 90% of the liquidity of the whole ecosystem. Well, kind of a lot of truth in what he said there.
Not a lot of wrong, I will say. That's a sad reality. Like, we were going back and forth with Clint, I think Tuesday, with Ray, where Ray was like, yeah, no, I think this will do well. And I was sitting there, I was like, who's going to be buying this from us, dude? Like, where's the buy pressure coming from? That's it. Like, you do have whales, like you have Cyrus and OXBOE or whatever the guy, OCC, whatever the guy's name is, SIBO, buying this at like $4 per in bulk. Like, they think it goes higher. You got Stats saying it's now $7 after the final distribution. We'll know in 12 days what it's going to be worth, which is pretty crazy. I still think there's opportunity. Like, even if this comes out at like $3 or $4, I'm not upset about it. I'd be happy to dump this bag, and it'd be lucrative to farm. Like, Fantasy Top alone basically recouped my entire cost of everything I've done on Blast. So I'm excited about it. I do have some worries for Clemente, and like, when this TG happens, I'm gonna make sure I have his number on speed dial just to check in on the kid, because it's
Dude, if Blast is gold's worth $50, man, I can get the down payment on this, condo in Miami.
If Blast is $1 though, he's gonna be looking for a second job. So we gotta check on the kid.
The only airdrop ever where people like try to quantify the value of points so hard? No.
zkSync was a big one, and they actually switched the whole model. That one was actually really bad, like really bad. I actually saw multiple like articles the last couple days where people have actually taken their life because of how bad the zkSync airdrop was and how much money they put into it. Jesus. Yes. Yesterday I saw it was like 2 or 3 people from India who had taken out loans, ended up not being eligible because of the change in the reward system, which is crazy. But people were quantifying zkSync for a while. They've been doing it with Optimism Arbitrum. The tougher part is a lot of these airdrops, though, have stopped saying like what the points are, But even now, like, you have OTC markets for points, so you can essentially figure out what that fully diluted market cap is going to be just off.
Well, I assume any OTC pre-market point stuff is like inflated 50%. So what's Blast Gold at on the OTC markets right now?
$4.80.
So I'd say take 50% off that. I think it's gonna be worth $2.40 of gold.
Yikes.
That's low, Kick. That's really low. I think that would be
lower
than Blur's market cap. I think that would be lower than Blur's market cap. I also think like people who haven't been in the Blast ecosystem and been really doing it don't really understand that there's been so many ways to play this. Like, Easy's just pointed out to the fact that even if his bag of gold is not worth that much, he's made enough money to counter it on Fantasy Top. And if Clemente has done this, actually we know Clemente hasn't done the same, but if he had done the same,
one of us went one way on it, the other went the complete opposite. We're literally the two ends of the spectrum. I took out 5.5 ETH. He doubled down with like 3 ETH.
Which could potentially work out for him. But the fact is that this ecosystem in the last 6 to 8 weeks, you easily could have made money and farm gold, or you could have just farmed gold. There's been many ways to play this. So, you know, Cyrus, for example, that he's been farming the watches, and now he's been going to be selling those watches on secondary market. I think there's been like a bunch of Rolexes. Pretty sure I saw a Yachtmaster go in there as well, which you can definitely sell for more. So there's so many ways to like string a cat here. Is it string a cat? Anyways,
Skin a
sorry.
cat.
Skin a cat. Thank you.
Much
There's
more
so many
violent.
Yikes.
There's so many ways to skin the blast cat here that even if gold were to come out on as a slightly lower valuation, I will have hoped that the people in the ecosystem would have made money along the way, because there has been opportunities to make it in so many different ways. I also think people who haven't put time in the ecosystem are coming at a lower valuation, and people who have put time in the ecosystem are coming at a higher valuation. I have no idea where this ends, but the fact is, it's just the reason why I chose to invest my time is because I believe in Pac-Man's ability to be able to build an ecosystem and launch a token correctly. If he can do that, I think there is a fair value number that will have been worth my time. That's what I'm going to say. I don't know what that number is, but it would have been worth my time.
Yeah, betting on Pac-Man, there's worse things that you can do in the space. I do agree. The problem is that it's NFT people, and the market for just all things that NFT people do is really, really, really small. Like, D-Farmer's not wrong about that. And when I say really small, I mean to the tune of like 30 or 40 people. Like, when an episode of this show is spent mostly talking about Fantasy Top, it might as well be an episode that just talks about one weapon in like Warcraft 2. Like, literally that niche, you know what I mean?
I
like
think someone also brought up something good here too about the Blast ecosystem. And sorry to cut you off there, Pio, but this is actually like a good take by Jose Maddox.
Jose Maddox.
Yeah, I just saw the O at the end.
Handsome devil.
Yeah, exactly, right? The thing here is he brings up a good point. Play Cambria, disappointing from like current rewards. Crypto Valleys, extremely disappointing from rewards and token price so far. Even like I love Pac Moon, and even that's taken a nasty hit as this season is like slowing down. I have some concerns there, like that's the thing for me is where I'm like, if these tickers on Blast are struggling, what's going to happen when the actual ticker goes live? I'm like, that's a concern for me. That's kind of a worry that I have at the moment is yeah, go ahead.
Oh, good. No,
I was just going to say, like, that's my main concern. And then I look at YOLO games, which, like, dude, I probably spent like 120K in volume on that stupid platform, just playing the games and like getting content and stuff like that. They give me $60. I was furious. I was like, dude, how the hell does that happen? And then you look at someone like Dingling who spent over $1 million and he got about $6,000. Like, pretty low amount. He's since tweeted that he's like content with it, it seems like. But overall, if these tickers are not doing well, then I'm worried about how well the TGE does.
Yeah, I mean, look, it'll be interesting to see how it played out. Jose said that we butchered his name.
It was me butchering it. It's definitely Jose Maddox.
If it's not Jose Maddox, is it Jose Madojo? Like, what is it exactly?
Ooh,
how do we do this? Is it Madojo? That's how Clemente would probably say it.
Madojo.
Like, literally tell me, Jose. I'm very curious. Anyway, look, one more. Oh, well, real quick, actually. So, am I getting the zkSync thing? The zkSync?
You should. They took a snapshot for big pudgies. You didn't have to do anything.
So
how took a snapshot?
So people are like, you should check. I'm like, I've held the thing for a bit. Like, I think
let me see if I can get the airdrop checker for you. Yeah, this one.
Big pudgies get everything. Everything.
Yeah,
like, what is the point of holding a little pudgy at that? Like, at this point.
The little pudgies get more volume when the big, like, there's something to little pudgies for sure. They get more volume.
I'm still holding my little pudgies. One day it'll pay off. It'll pay off.
They get a lot of volume. Where the hell is my pudgy? One second.
You should be able to just enter a wallet in that. I sent PO a zkSync airdrop rank checker.
Let's
I don't know
see
if
this stupid thing. Let's go check.
Oh, this one. If that one doesn't show it, because that one may be for farming, this one should. Oops.
I got all question marks on that first one.
You definitely got it, Pia.
Yeah.
I got it.
Then, yeah, you should have it. If it's all question marks, that one's more for farming, but
87.21.
Like yeah,
87.21, suckers. What's the price of this? Well, first of all,
$10.
No, yeah, very funny. Shout out to zkSync for doing a traditional airdrop, which means if you had something, you got it. It wasn't like, oh, you gotta go and blah, 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 blah. Like, no, like, come on, man. Where do you even announce this shit?
So
It's not like you have my email.
right now
How
is
much?
what you're looking at. About $3 grand.
$3,000?
Yeah, $2,970
Not
based on
bad.
Whales Market right now. Whales Market points are going for about 34 cents. Yesterday, those points are going for about 70 cents. So, yeah, we'll see. I think there's going to be some volatility. We'll see. zkSync is like a blockchain is actually not bad either. So, like, this may be one of those ones that we see that moves like Wormhole or Jupe and some of those other ones that ends up trending up after the initial sell-off. We'll see. All in all, though, I mean, you got a free few grand by just owning a pudgy, which is sick. And you're going to get more with Layer 0 happening in the inevitable future.
8721 tokens for that pudge. Kicks, you got that too, baby.
Yeah, free money.
We pudging.
Easy mode.
I'm about to waddle over.
Didn't
You know
have
what
to
I
do
mean?
Shit for it.
We're gonna
No,
waddle.
I feel like my little waddle, my legs just got cut out after me. Honestly, Easy, you're saying like it's gonna pay off one day on these little penguins. Well, it's gonna have to pay off pretty well because I think between PO and Kicks, this year alone, they must have got. I mean, how much guys? do you think
To
you've
be
had in
clear, this is the
airdrops
first thing
for
I've gotten.
big
This is
pudgies?
the first one. This is the first one I got. There hasn't been any other airdrops besides this one. Everything else you had to do
Did
something.
you not get Dimension?
No, because you had to go and do something.
Oh, yeah, you had to go click the button before. But Sig, Layer 0 little pudgies should absolutely eat if you've taken the steps.
I did. I sent that little pudgy to so many chains. I think I spent an entire afternoon trying to figure out sending money across to different. It was the most painful thing just to send money to BNB, to Arbitrum, to all these places. I did. I sent my little pudgy around. So fingers
I sent
crossed.
all 20 of mine to each wallet around to each. That one I pray cooks for me. I
don't even
pray.
want to talk about that one. I did what Easy told me to do, and it was a horrible experience. I think I spent $1,000 on it. Now the little pudgies are all on different chains. It's a huge pain in the ass. So, and it wasn't working properly. I really didn't enjoy that. I don't do crypto admin. And by the way, crypto admin is going to go extinct, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
So enjoy it while it lasts. It's going extinct. I'm not saying it's going extinct in the next few months, but in 5 years, in 8 years, there's not going to be any more crypto admin. Anyway, look, one more shout out to our partner, Galaxis. Galaxis, of course, the no-code community creation tool empowering creators to create to engage with and provide value to their communities. Their community's launchpad went live last month and is running a year-long grant with $1 million allocated to creators and community members. Their introductory OG promotion is also still live with quests to earn free Galaxis tokens. Minting community membership cards and completing 10 daily check-ins will make you eligible to receive a share of 5 million Galaxis tokens. The promotion runs until June 20th. Be sure to mint and start your check-ins ASAP. Big shout out to Galaxis. Check out the team behind Galaxis and obviously providing a very good infrastructure-based service to the crypto space with a that no-code community creation tool. That's big. You're going to probably see more of these organizations come out. Hopefully Galaxis has that first mover advantage. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's our show. We do the show Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern time each and every week. It's available on Apple and Spotify podcasts. It's available on YouTube and X platform video. Make sure you like and subscribe. It's available on Twitter Spaces. I know a lot of you are listening there. So big shout out to everybody that participated. We will be back on Monday. Clemente will be back to run the production properly. And yeah, appreciate everybody listening. Catch you guys next time.